Hello everyone, and welcome to another horror news update. Now, you know my last episode was last Tuesday, and I didn't have a lot to talk about. Well, within the past week or so, that has changed drastically, and today I have tons of things to talk about. So without any further ado, let's get started on another Cinepeak Geek video of Horror News Update. First on the menu today, if you did not know, American Horror Story is being picked up for a Season 2 October of this year. Now, several actors are returning, Jessica Lange. There's also lots of new characters like Adam Levine from Maroon 5, a girl named Chloe 7G. If you remember the man who played the gay guy in American Horror Story first season, he's returning. Tate from Season 1, he's also returning in Season 2. Anyways, lots of characters are returning. Well, we now have more news about it. And we have the time frame. If you don't know, American Horror Story is going to take place in a mental institution set in the 1960s. So, in this case, things like, gays and lesbians were looked down upon back then, and they still are today, but they're a little more widely accepted now. But back then, they were looked down upon a lot. You could be thrown into a mental institution just for being a lesbian. There's actually a character in American Horror Story Season 2 that it happens to. There's also a character who is obsessed with sex and is a prostitute. That character is also in the mental institution. They're both patients in Season 2, so there's a little more plot details on American Horror Story Season 2. They said the main central idea of this season is what makes a person sane and what makes a person insane. As you know, the first season was mainly about infidelity. Well, the second season is about, what makes you insane, what makes you, go mad. That's the main idea in Season 2 of American Horror Story. As always, links are in the description below for all of these articles. I cannot wait till October of this year. They also have a new kind of poster, screenshot that goes with it, There should be some sort of lobotomies that take place, when they experiment on patients, So there should be lots of cool stuff in American Horror Story Season 2. I cannot wait. And other news. There seems to be a new horror film in the midst called The Apparition. The horror film is produced by the production company, the Warner Brothers, and it's basically about these 3 or 4 young adults, and they're trying to contact, ghosts and, different, spirits and apparitions, and they're saying, how if you believe that ghosts are real, then they actually become real, and this is their theory. So, apparently they actually make one come out of the spirit, and now this ghost or apparition wants to take hold of people, and apparently it passes from one person to another person. If what I'm saying is a little hard to understand, I'm sorry, but that's just kind of what the trailer says. Anyways, the trailer for The Apparition is now available. Ashley Greene from Twilight's going to star in it. Sebastian Stan from Black Swan and The Covenant. Juliana Gill and Luke Plasano from Friday the 13th Remake, and Tom Felton from Rise of Planet of the Apes is also in it. So, be looking forward to that. It's directed by a man named Todd Lincoln, and it's supposed to be coming out this summer and August 24th of this year. So, Apparition looks like a pretty cool film. Looks like it's PG-13, but it looks like they do some edgy stuff with the whole, apparition, getting possessed kind of thing. Looks like they take some twists and turns, and it looks like it'll be a pretty cool film. Well, even though it might be PG-13. Looks like they're going to stretch the rating a little bit, so it looks like it'll be pretty cool. Anyways, Apparition trailer now available. Look in the description below for more details on The Apparition. Other news. We have a new kind of thriller, with some horror vibes to it film called Static, and it's a home invasion film about these people, the common, family, and they get invaded by people. And the trailer looked, decent. It didn't look phenomenal, but it looked decent. It looks kind of like a horrific game of, like cat and mouse kind of thing. So, anyways, if you're curious about that, that trailer is also now available. And other news, if you guys will remember the old TV series, it wasn't widely known, but it was pretty popular back in the 70s. I believe it was made in 1974, an old TV series called The Night Stalker. I believe it was called Kolchak, The Night Stalker. Well, anyways, that TV series is now being made into a full feature film. I believe it was like a crime horror drama thing. Anyways, the main character to be cast in that is Johnny Depp, so might be something you guys might want to look into. I don't know too much about the Night Stalker, but Johnny Depp is now in it, and it seems that they have now found a scribe. The same people who did Shaun of the Dead and Hot Fuzz will be helming the project, and as I said before, Johnny Depp will star in it. So, apparently it was an ABC television series, according to the article I'm looking at. It only ran for about one season, so, anyways, be looking forward to Kolchak the Night Stalker. No release date or anything like that yet, because it just found its writer, so not too much info. As always, link in the description. More news! It also seems that there is also another horror film in the works called Dark Feed. Now, if you don't know what Dark Feed is, it is the same writers who wrote John Carpenter's The Ward, released in 2010, and it seems to be kind of a mental institution movie about apparently some weird physician way back in the olden days who used to force feed the patients water, and this water would like possess them and stuff. Well, anyways, the trailer for it is now out, and Dark Feed looks really cool. Same writers who wrote John Carpenter's The Ward also wrote the script for Dark Feed, so might be something to look into. Their names, I believe, are the Rezuman brothers, and Dark Feed looks like a pretty cool film, just assuming from the trailer. Make sure to watch that puppy below in the description. Another horror film that's coming out, seems like a horror, even has kind of a, I wouldn't say grindhouse, but has kind of an over-the-top feel kind of to it, and that's a film called Sucker. The international trailer is now out for that, and Sucker is pretty much about this anti-hero guy who apparently gets like some kind of toxic waste or something like that. Anyways, he's kind of like a mosquito man, and he kind of goes around the town killing people. Lots of over-the-top gore, kind of your old-style, movie monster kind of thing. Looks like it has a nice 80s feel to it. Anyways, trailers now out for that. Make sure to also check out Sucker. If you don't know, Maniac, the 1980s film, is also being remade. Now, I know I stated this a few weeks back, but the teaser trailer is now out, and the teaser trailer is actually an uncensored trailer, so it looks pretty dang cool. It seems that it'll be just as intense as the original. Now, the original, honestly, I didn't think was an amazing film, but it was kind of cool, Now, the remake looks like it'll probably outpar the original. It just looks a lot more edgier. It looks like, it'll be a pretty cool film. Now, if you don't know, Elijah Wood is going to play the serial killer. Frank Zito Elijah Wood is starring in it. So, he may not do as good as Joe Spinell did, because Joe Spinell was a pretty big creep in the original. But Elijah Wood looks like he's going to do a pretty good job, according to the teaser trailer. Look in the link below for that. Maniac looks like a pretty cool film. Probably released sometime in 2013. Looking forward to that. Other news. If you guys know the film, everyone knows that Carrie is being remade. If you don't, be a little upset, because Carrie is in the works of being remade. We have two new stars that are cast in for the roles of the remake. Then we got the main character from Chronicle. I believe his name is let's see here. If you don't know, Chloe Moretz from Dark Shadows, Kick-Ass. Anyways, she is going to be Carrie. Julianne Moore is going to play Carrie's mom. Let's see here. Anyways, I don't know his name, but the main guy from Chronicle is also going to play in the film. So be looking forward to Carrie, I believe, sometime in April of 2013. Now, I just recently watched the original Carrie, and I was pretty pissed when I found out they were remaking it, because the original Carrie is a great film. I love the original Carrie, so be looking forward to that. If you don't know, Suspiria, the 1977 film directed by Dario Argento, is in the works and being remade. Now, if you remember, a few weeks ago, I talked about how Natalie Portman was going to play the main character in the film. Well, misread that article. That was an old article back from '08 from BloodyDisgusting.com. And actually, the person who's actually going to play the main character is a girl named Isabelle Fuhrman, the girl from Orphan, and also from recently The Hunger Games, who played the girl with the knives. Anyways, she is actually going to be in the Suspiria remake. If you don't know, it's the same guys who directed The Sitter and Pineapple Express. Kind of weird because they're going from kind of a raunchy, weird kind of comedy to, a straight up horror film. So I guess we'll have to wait till 2013-ish to see how that Suspiria remake turns out. I'm kind of excited for it because I'm just curious to see what they do, because the original was a very cool film. I'm curious to see if they'll do the Suspiria film justice. Anyways, be looking forward to that. Probably sometime 2013, 2014-ish. Other news. There are 3 new clips of Piranha 3 Double D. Now, I'm pretty excited for this film. I noticed recently it's been getting kind of, rotten reviews. If you go to RottenTomatoes.com, they get, has like a 9%, and it's getting a lot of crappy reviews. But there's a few people who like it, and I'm pretty excited for it because I thought the original was back from the 70s, was very cool. James Cameron's, sequel, The Spawning, was also pretty cool. And I even liked the remake, made in 2010, by Alexandre Auger. That was also a very cool film. So I like the previous 3 Piranha films, so why not check out the 4th one now, Piranha 3 Double D. Anyways, directed by a guy named John Gulager, who originally did Feast. I love Feast. Only the first one. I don't like 2 or 3, but I love the first Feast. Anyways, there's 3 new clips out. One where they're all kind of funny clips, except for one of them. But they're all kind of funny clips. One, shows off Ving Rhames' legs, where he has 2 titanium legs. And he has like a shotgun strapped to his leg. There's another clip where it shows David Hasselhoff rescuing someone. And then there's another, and it does a Hasselhoff a spoof in that clip, actually, a Baywatch spoof. So be looking forward to that if you like David Hasselhoff. Anyways, there's also another clip where it shows one of the bigger piranhas eating through galvanized steel. So, anyways, I'll put links in the description below if you guys are curious about the new 3 Piranha 3 Double D clips. So, look forward to those. Comes out 2 weeks, actually, June 1st. I can't wait. Another cool film, Sam Raimi is actually producing it, the guy who did Spider-Man and Evil Dead, called The Possession. Now, The Possession looks pretty cool. Possession and Apparition, I mentioned Apparition earlier, look like they're kind of the same, but it looks like Apparition goes more for shock value, and The Possession seems like your classic Possession story. Well, the Possession trailer looks pretty decent, but there's a part towards the end of the trailer where it shows like these fingers coming out of the mouth, and it doesn't. The poster, you'll see if you click the link, shows the entire hand coming up out. Well, the trailer just shows the fingers, and I wanted to see the entire scene of that, but I guess that's what they con you in to actually want you to see the movie. Anyway, the trailer for that is now out on horrorbid.com. Link in the description below. Our last article today, well, actually, not the last article. Excuse me. Other news, there is a new TV series called 666 Park Avenue that is going to premiere on ABC here in a few months. Now, I don't know too much about it. Apparently, it's written by the same guys named David Wilcox, who did Fringe and Life on Mars. Now, it stars a girl named Rachel Taylor from Charlie's Angels, Dave Annable from Brothers and Sisters, Robert Buckley from One Tree Hill, Brian Leonard from The Finder, Helena Matson from Iron Man 2, has another person called Nona Clark, and Vanessa Williams from Desperate Housewives. Anyways, too many names to list off. Anyways, it's going to come on this fall, 10 p.m. on Sunday nights. So, be looking forward to that. Apparently, it's about some, let's see here. The drama follows a couple who learns that the Manhattan building complex that they just moved into, including its upscale tenants, might be possessed by a mysterious demonic force. That's the basic plot of it. Trailer is now available, so make sure to check that out if you want a new ABC horror thriller series. So, if you're curious, check that out. Now, that's not my last article. I still have a few more things to talk about. The next thing isn't really horror. It has nothing to do with horror. But I've been loving the book for a long time, so I wanted to talk about it. if any of you guys have ever known about the man Clive Barker, you know, Clive Barker did Hellraiser, Nightbreed, Little Illusions, a lot of cool stuff, Jericho video game, writes books, paints. Anyways, he wrote a book called The Abarat, and he has 5 books planned. 3 are out now, I believe, Abarat, and then there's one called Days of Magic, Nights of War, and I forget what the new one's called. So anyways, he has this book called Abarat. Well, recently, he's been talking to people about Abarat being made into a movie, and let me just say, oh my god, this would be truly amazing if Abarat could be licensed to a movie. Apparently, it's supposed to be something very big, very bright, very visual, because that's the way Abarat is, and I'm sure if you have read Abarat, you know, you would know that. Now, if you haven't read Abarat, you really ought to go check it out. It's an amazing book. The first 2 books are phenomenal. Haven't read the 3rd one, but the first 2 books are just great. So apparently he's talking to some people, and apparently Abarat is in the works of being made into a movie. Don't know yet though. Nothing is confirmed. So hopefully it'll be picked up. Anyways, more news. If you don't know, Paranormal Activity is being picked up for a sequel. Paranormal Activity 4, of course. Now, Oren Peli didn't write the 3rd one. I believe he wrote the 1st and 2nd script, but he's coming back to write the 4th script, so maybe it'll be decent. I wasn't ever too big on these series. I do like The River a lot, though. I do like The River. 1st and 2nd one were okay. 3rd one was utter just this. And then the 4th one, I guess I'll have to see in theaters. Anyways, comes out October 20, somewhere around there of this year. So make sure to check that out. Other news, Oren Peli is also in the works of a new film, though it doesn't come out until 2014, a film called Area 51, and the plot of it is pretty simple. 3 people are very curious about the Area 51, so they go to film it. It'll probably be another found footage film. Anyways, if you're into Oren Peli, you might want to look up more information about his new film, Area 51, released in 2014. Be looking forward to that. Last thing on the list today is actually kind of I hated the last film. Anyways, Final Destination. You know, there's been 5 films now. The 2nd one has always been my favorite, and that's just the 2nd one's still not that good compared to other films. But if I had to pick a favorite out of the 5, definitely the 2nd one. Not Paranormal. Final Destination 5 was not any good. It got decent reviews. You know, a lot of people thought it was a comeback for the franchise. I didn't like it too much. Well, I just recently looked at Wikipedia, and apparently since the 5th one did so well, they're fast-tracking it for a 6 and a 7. So be looking forward that if you do like Final Destination 5, they're making 2 more films, 6 and a 7. So I'm guessing sometime in 2013 or 2014 you'll see a Final Destination 6. So if you like Final Destination, make sure to look up more info about that. Anyways, that's all the news today. We have lots of trailers up, lots of clips up, lots of good stuff going on in the Horror News Network. We also have a few things that are coming out on DVD. Not too much, but just a few. Red Tails is coming out on DVD with Cuba Gooding Jr. Hadn't seen it, didn't really want to. Anyways, if you like that, that's out on DVD now. Secret World of Arrietty, a Studio Ghibli film, is also out now. Recently watched that, and that's a pretty cool film. I've only seen a few Studio Ghibli films. I've seen Ponyo and Secret World of Arrietty. I liked Ponyo more than Secret World of Arrietty, but Secret World of Arrietty was still a pretty cool film. I prefer Ponyo, though. If you don't know, Secret World is based off the book The Borrowers, which is basically about these little people who live in a house and they borrow stuff from the human world. Anyways, it's a pretty cool concept and it's a pretty cool film. Check that out if you're into animated films. Another film that's coming out that's actually in the horror genre is The Woman in Black, starring Daniel Radcliffe. Now, I thought The Woman in Black was decent, nothing too notable. It was okay. Didn't like the ending much. Just too long, kind of dragged out, was very slow. It kind of fell apart towards the end. Woman in Black wasn't my thing, but it did get decent reviews. So if you liked Woman in Black, make sure to go to Amazon or Walmart, pick up your own copy on DVD or Blu-ray. Anyways, that's all the news this week. Links in the description below. I'll see you guys next week on another episode of Horror News Updates.